Hello and welcome back. In this episode, we are going to study the CSS selectors grouped in first category called Standard Selectors. There are 5 CSS selectors in this group: Universal Selector, Type Selector, Compound Selector, Class Selector, and ID Selectors. Let's understand each one of them one by one. First is Universal Selector. Universal Selector is used to target all elements in the document. It is represented by asterisk symbol. So here in my document I have got HTML5 markup in which I have got some elements inside of my body tag, and the elements I have are span tag, header h2 tag, and a paragraph tag. So I am going to use Universal Selector, which is represented by asterisk, to call all of these and style them accordingly. So in this particular instance I am going to give them a color of #f000 #f00, which is red, I guess. Okay, so let me preview it in browser, and you can see we have got the styling of red color in all of the tags inside of my body tag here. So asterisk symbol basically means that any content that is present in your web document inside of body tag, it is getting styled to the property which is present inside of this asterisk selector. Okay, so let's have a look at another example. In this example I'm going to show you how we can use Universal Selector in combination with other selector. So in this particular example I've got two div tags, and to the first div I have given an ID of div1, and to the second div I have given an ID of div2. So we have got two paragraphs in first div and two paragraphs in second div. So I'm going to use asterisk symbol, which is Universal Selector symbol, in combination with the another selector called ID Selector. So in this particular instance I'm going to call div2 ID, and I'm going to call in this greater than symbol means I'm going to call the child of this div2. So asterisk symbol means all, and this greater than symbol means child. So this essentially means that I'm going to call all the childs of this div2, which is basically these two paragraphs here, and they'll be styled with color of #FOF and with the font weight of bold. So if I preview this in my Chrome, you can see the paragraphs that were inside of div2 are styled with style properties, while the other paragraph which are inside of div1 are not styled with any styling, as they are not called in anywhere in our style tag here. Okay, so that completes our Universal Selectors. And now let's have a look at another selector, which is called Type Selector. So Type Selector is used to target elements by their type. So in this example I've got h2 tag here, I've got a paragraph tag, then another h2 tag, and a paragraph tag. So if type selector basically means we are going to call each element by their type. So we'll call this h2 by its type, which is h2 itself, and I can give a style property of color inside of this here to style this h2. So similarly I can call the paragraph tag with its type, and I can put in p for that and put a style rule of color here to style the paragraph. So if I try to preview it in my browser, we can see the stylings for h2 and for the p. Okay, so this is how we use Type Selector to style our elements. And let's have a look at the third selector type inside of our standard selectors, So the third one is compound selector. Compound selector is represented by a comma separated list of simple selectors. Okay, so it acts as a way to target multiple elements by type, class, id, attribute, or pseudo classes. So in this example I have got h1 tag, I have got p tag and a div and another paragraph tag with the id of p1 inside of my body tag here. So the way we use compound selectors is we reference them by a comma separated list. So here I'm trying to I'm trying to style basically h1 and div and my paragraph with p1 id. Okay, so I have to put h1 and then separate it with a comma and call div and separate it with a comma and call paragraph with the id of p1, and I have given a style property of red to it. So if you preview it in browser, we get the styling, and notice that the only paragraph that is not styled is this paragraph, since we have not called this paragraph by its type. If we want it to be styled as well, I can call this as well and separate it with a comma, and if I refresh it again, you'll see the change. Okay, that finishes the compound selector. Now let's move on to the fourth selector, which is called the class selector. The class selector will target all the elements for styling that are given a specific class name. Okay, so for example, here I have given a class name of my class to this div element here. So I can reference this div element by its class name, my class, and apply all the style properties I want to apply to it. Okay, similarly I have given a class name of my class to this paragraph element as well. So this will be styled the same way that this div is styled. Okay, so one thing to notice here is that you can apply same class name to different elements on HTML document, thus giving them same styling. That finishes the class selector. Let's move on to our final selector in this standard selector list, which is called the ID selector. An ID selector will target an element by its unique ID. So for example, here I have got two h3 tags inside of my body tag here in the markup, and one of the h3 tag I have given an ID of heading 1. Okay, so I am referencing this element, h3 element, using its ID of heading 1 here, and I am giving a border of this color and 1 pixel solid. So let's try to preview it in browser, and you see the first h3 tag has been applied a border, and we referenced it using its ID in my style tag here. Okay, so the thing to note here is that you cannot have same ID names for different elements in the HTML document. IDs are unique and each element should be given different ID names. Okay, so this completes the discussion on selectors listed in standard selectors category. Please comment, subscribe, like and share, and I'll see you in my next tutorial. Thanks.